U.S. intelligence officials said they found no evidence that the UAPs reported by Navy pilots in recent years are of alien origin, but they didn't rule it out either.
The findings may have spurred more skepticism of government cover-ups. Let's listen to this recent exchange.
I was talking to a gentleman about the UAP report, and he contends the Pentagon has alien bodies and crafts. Does DoD have these things, and if so, where?
The UAP task force is really designed to take a look at these unexplained aerial phenomena, try to help us get a better understanding of them. Again, I'm not going to get ahead of the report that the DNI will submit, that we are helping, obviously, and providing input to, and I think I'll just leave it at that, Jeff.
Okay, so look at the smirk on his face when that question was asked. And actually, fantastic question. I'm glad those questions are making their way into the briefing room because they're important. And actually, I think something that tells you what you need to know is that the Pentagon actually is taking all of these things as seriously as it is. Of course, they have national security implications, but there are a lot of people at the Pentagon whose job it is right now to work on these sorts of UAP situations. And that's pretty telling in and of itself, regardless of what we're actually able specifically to extract from them, which is increasingly more than we had previously. But I think that tells you what you need to know in and of itself.
I'm sorry. I just feel like there are elements within the Defense Department now who do have an interest in getting out information about UAPs, and there is a willingness among the public to believe it. There's a willingness among the media to report on it credibly, and you would suspect then that there would be more precise or more smoking gun type evidence if the evidence existed. Instead, what I'm worried about is that we're getting things that people think that they can explain, a bunch of different ways. Now, I know that doesn't account for everything. There's people saying, well, there's no way that we don't have this propulsion technology. This couldn't exist. But I don't know. What do you think of the idea that if they had better evidence, we'd see it right now?
Yeah, so I disagree with that because I think we are actually seeing really good evidence that's not easily explained in that you say a smoking gun. I think some of these UAP videos are smoking guns because they can't be explained by what we know about technology right now. And those were not originally declassified by the Navy. They came out, people saw them before the Navy actually declassified them. So I think there's sort of a scramble at the Pentagon to handle this sensitively in a way that doesn't trigger panic or seem crazy, but to do it so that they're sort of keeping under wraps what they want to keep under wraps, even though some of the stuff has managed to just sort of trickle out when you had people that were spending time in the Pentagon going into civilian life and speaking more openly about it. They have to address it somehow. You can see this video right here. It's one of the things that I would actually consider a smoking gun. It's not an alien corpse, as the question got at. And, maybe I honestly have no idea, but that's what a lot of people are starting to think. And I think the job of reporters is to put the questions that the people have to the powerful. It's not to impress the powerful or your peers in journalism. It's actually to be a representative and a voice for what people think. And to get that sort of interaction, I think was helpful. I don't think that the Pentagon has alien corpses, but I do think that there are a lot of things people previously dismissed as crazy and conspiratorial and tinfoil hat that are probably a lot more credible than those folks realized.
Where do we think this goes next? Like, what are people, who believe that the Pentagon is still covering up some evidence? Is there enough of a faction within the Pentagon? You think that we're going to see some of that in the next few months?
I think we've seen senators, let's say like Marco Rubio, who have come out and started talking about this in a national security context. And I think that gives this a lot of energy as it moves into the public discourse with more credibility and plausibility than it has previously. That's the kind of thing that forces reporters to ask senators these questions. It's the kind of thing that triggers more coverage from the Post and the New York Times. So I actually don't think this conversation is going anywhere. I don't think anybody in a position of power right now is in a good position to dismiss the new skepticism and concerns. I do think we probably will start to see more strategery from the Pentagon, and it's always interesting to sort of parse through that, as we did last week, saying, what is the real motivation behind this press release? What is the real motivation behind this statement? There's going to be more of that, but I do think that people, you can't put the genie back in the bottle with UAPs, and I think that's the point that we're getting to right now.
Right. Right, and given an infinite universe, it does seem like it would be a little bit closed-minded to suggest that it's certain that it's completely impossible.
Yeah, sort of my galaxy brain, Elon Musk on Joe Rogan take is that we always lose perspective in our daily news coverage of sort of like bringing in the scope of human history and the scope of the universe. Like we're very much in this insular American 2021 conversation about the news of the day in this country with life as it is right now, and I think that sort of skews coverage, and understandably so. But hey, like you just said, with an infinite universe, UAPs don't look so crazy.
No, they don't.
We'll have more rising for you right after this.